What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That's the Freddie Mercury puppet. We are back with another incredible episode. It's what we do, kids, and we ain't about to change it now. One of my guests is already here, so let's dive into it. Maybe both of my guests are here. I don't know, but we're off and running with another episode coming your way right now.
Hey, Mark.
Rob, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Awesome, man. Good to have you on here, man.
Where are you at?
I'm in upstate New York, man. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Where I believe our summer is starting to officially wind down, unfortunately, but
yeah, it's been getting a little chilly at night, right?
Yeah, it has. I mean, me and my wife were just on vacation out in Arizona where it was 110 every day. So yeah, that was a very different kind of heat for sure.
Yeah.
And so I'm already off and running. So Ray will be popping in here.
Yeah, any second, but
Okay,
whatever
sweet.
you want to do is fine.
Yeah, sweet.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. I love you guys, man. I've had the pleasure of having Ray on multiple times in the past. So I guess I'll kind of start with you. Your foray into music. I find that I've talked to a lot of bass players on here, and they say sometimes an instrument chooses the artist. It's not always considered the most glamorous. A lot of kids want to shred, or they want to be out front. The lead singer. What's your relationship? How do you come to be synonymous with the bass?
That's definitely the case because I was a guitar player.
Right.
And Paul DiBartolo had a band that was very popular and drawing a lot of people in the clubs in Boston. And he asked me to just fill in on bass to help him out. And I did. And I was like, I love this so much more. So It did choose me. It absolutely did.
Yeah.
I never listened to the bass before then on recordings. Really, I'm a vocal melody guy and a guitar solo guy. So, a guitar riff guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it chose me.
And I find also talking to musical artists on here that many times they come from backgrounds that really fostered the arts. Maybe they had parents that were musicians, or lots of records playing in the house. Where that was really nurtured, and it seems inevitable they would go down that path. Was this the case for you? Was it a big part of your upbringing, music?
Definitely not. I discovered it through, for lack of a better explanation, I was in like a gang in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
And I was like a kid. I was about 13 maybe, and we hung out with guys who were 3 to 7 years older than us every day. So that's you think about it, as a kid, if someone is a year older than you, even 6 months, they're quite a bit more developed than you.
Sure.
So it was a very rare situation, but these older kids saw that we were the next generation, and they turned us on to the best rock and roll.
Yeah.
So Ray's texting. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah.
Just make sure he's okay.
Yeah, I do find while you're checking that out, I do find that is often the case where somebody always has, it's always an older brother, a friend, or an uncle that got them into the best music. There's a lot of uncles out there responsible for corrupting our youth out there. They know who they are, but there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I had an uncle who was very connected with music, but I wasn't in touch with him much. He lived in San Francisco, lived on the West Coast, and I lived on the East Coast. He was he ran the Bay Area Jazz Society.
Okay.
So he was he was very involved in music, but he wasn't really in my life, even though, we loved each other very much. He wasn't really in my life.
Yeah.
So my parents had some albums, and I was a product of Philadelphia radio, WMMR.
Right.
If it got onto, I didn't know about webzines, not webzines, magazines, rock magazines, or anything like that.
Yep.
So I learned about music through Philadelphia radio and these older guys that I hung out with. Hey, Ray.
The radio. Yep. There's my guy. What's up, Ray?
I love you, bro. I said, Rob, who is it? Oh, cool. What's up, brother?
I appreciate the help you guys. Man. Yeah.
Two times in 1 year. This is awesome.
I know. And first of all, man, congrats. I mean, me and Rob have been chopping up for a couple minutes while we waited for you to get in here, man. But the new album is so good, and it's just really, the amount of risk that you guys have packed onto this album is absolutely incredible. I mean, where's the endless supply of risk coming from? Can we credit somebody with this?
It's from that great
from up there, the egos.
Okay.
Where did Michael Jackson from the creator? It's from that crazy place where riffs come from. Rob's just been. I tell you, Rob has buckled down on his songwriting. We're all such a collaborative, like I told you before.
Right.
So it's just experience, gigging live, and putting that to that knowledge and taking it to the studio, taking it to the writing. The live vibe dictates the style of the album.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and since you guys have been there, since 1989, man, right out of the gate, man, are you able to kind of look back on your history and the trajectory of your band and kind of, surmise the journey up to this point? I know a lot of people would probably hear these songs and they would say, I mean, this is as good as any music that's been made since 1989. Why are we not hearing more of Spread Eagle? Well, what would you say to people that would say that? Well, why aren't you guys a household name?
I agree. That's what I'd say.
Great songs, great songwriting, obviously great musicianship. What's been the factor that's been you think been the obstacle?
Well, I think it had to do with, number one, nowadays there's a lot more gatekeepers.
Yeah.
As far as breaking through to certain levels of things. But back in the day, when MTV had a cultural change, a lot of bands got on MTV for 15 minutes. We got on there for a couple of minutes and had to do the best we can with that.
Right.
So a lot of those, it's about familiarity. If someone's girlfriend loved a song from a certain band from back in the day, that's who they'll go see. Oh, I remember that song.
Yeah.
So Spread is something that people really got to dig for a little bit. And once they find the people that connect with Spread and find it, it's one of those bands. It's a little different. We're not just doing mom and pop melodies here. It's
right.
We have a certain kind of energy that we bring to the table, and it's unique in that way. So the people that connect with us, we have to keep searching and keep digging through to get to them. It's not a needle in the haystack. We just got to get to them and be like, oh, that's the thing that we were talking about. That's what Spread Eagle is.
And Rob, what was the creative? Well, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Once they find us, we often become their favorite band, though, because we are doing our own thing within this umbrella called hard rock. And I wanted to say something. You mentioned about all the riffs on the record because it's just a riff fest.
Yeah, it is.
One guy, not an interviewer, I think it was like just an online troll, wrote, I don't hear songs or riffs on this record. I don't hear any riffs. I was like, did you listen to this record?
There's a wild take right there. I don't know. Yeah.
First, the album opens up with Flat Earth Vultures. It's like the mother of all riffs.
Yeah, it's off and running right from the get-go. Yeah. But now, what was the creative process like? Because I probably asked Ray this in the times that I've had him on, man. But what was the creative process like for you making the Brutal Divine?
I just, I just sit and riff nonstop. And then when I get a riff, I kind of twist it up a little bit and then try to come up with some melodies and try to come up with parts that go along with it. It's not any different than any other band. It's just when you take the four of us and our influences, it makes it unique from any other band because we're four, individual personalities. So
there's
nothing profound about it. It's just, you riff, you just sit there and you work at it. But I do feel they come from somewhere else.
And when you guys are putting together now your set list now for when you go out live, has that become difficult to do? Because obviously, people think so highly. I've seen many people in the comment section, talking about your first two albums as, for lack of a better term, sleaze metal classics. I just saw somebody comment today. So you obviously want to play stuff in a nod to the past and then still kind of be promoting these new songs. Is it difficult to come up with a set list?
Well, it is, because when people are constantly asking for different songs, but now that we've had the experience, we know what works off the first album live,
right?
And that's how you do it. So we know what works off of the second album live, and Subway to the Stars. And now with the new album, The Brutal Divine, we're in the experimental phase. We get to now test what does work live. So I like to present new songs in the set. Just like that, I'm from the Van Halen school.
Right.
They did a new album. They played a lot of those songs live, and people just knew the sound, so they were cool and open to it. So I take some of the old and I mix it in with the new.
And when you're coming up with the album, Rob, do you give any thought to how many songs or what length you want it to come in? Because people are sometimes not releasing full-length albums. They want to go EPs, abbreviated works. I mean, it's a streaming world nowadays. It's a track-by-track world. Do you put any thought into that? This song is 10 songs, 40 minutes. Is that deliberate or?
No, Frontiers wanted a full album, so there was never discussions of an EP. And to be honest, we try not to make them too long because people don't really keep their attention in this modern world. And also, we want to get back out on the road. We want to get away from the studio and back out on the road, back to the real music business, because for us, that is the real music business.
Yeah, yeah. And so you guys have a tour coming up, correct? You guys are about to embark anytime now, right?
2 days.
We leave Saturday. We fly to Vienna.
Okay. So you guys will be doing a string of dates in Europe.
27.
Okay. And how do you find the European market has embraced Spread Eagle when you guys go over there?
We're going to find out.
Oh, okay. So you're not sure as far as like album sales and how you are received over there. I mean, do you get any kind of feedback, before you go over to these markets?
We'll tell you in 6 weeks.
Yeah. Obviously, people write us.
It's a little better. It's a little better because we can play every night of the week over there.
Yeah.
That's
true.
It's 7 days, 24. It's 24/7. You can play on like one of our. I forgot what gig is Tuesday, but it was the fact we're playing Tuesday night somewhere,
right,
is cool. That happens over there. It's just a very passionate culture for live rock and roll.
Yeah. And now, obviously, we talked about all the great riffs that are on this album. It might be the obvious answer, but I don't want to assume anything. But how is a typically great Spread Eagle song? How is it born? Does the riff always come first?
For me,
yeah,
I would think we're riff orientated. Sometimes, I'll just have a melody in my head, and sometimes that'll land. But we're more riff, more of the egg before the chicken.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense. And now, since 2010, if I'm not mistaken, your cousin Rick is the other half of your rhythm section. What is that like?
It's awesome. We play very well together. We both try to swing. Rick swings a lot, and that helps me swing because that's an unspoken element to rock and roll that Ray and I love, and obviously Rick plays that way. Van Halen always had that swing. John Bonham always had that swing. So a lot of those bands back then were listening to like rock, but also Motown and things like that. So that's an unspoken element to Spread Eagle that is important, and he brings that. Yeah.
There certainly is like a bluesy kind of and I notice fans always particularly point out that they feel like it started on that second album, where suddenly a really bluesy element came into the music. Would that be fair to say? I just saw a slew of comments somewhere when I was gathering my notes and putting research together to talk to you guys, and a lot of people were saying they really felt a lot of a blues influence coming off that second record.
Well, Devil's Road.
Yeah, and I think there's some slower song work that leads to that, like Faith and Fade Away. It just has that kind of like Faith especially. That's got some cool bluesy tones to it. I'm real proud of that one actually. We don't get to play it enough, so maybe we'll pull that out of the hat this year. But I think you're right. A little more time to just. The first record was like slam bam, thank you, man. Right. And the second was like, let's take a breath and let's just overthink everything and write.
Right. Yeah. That overthinking always gets in the way, doesn't it?
It's a pain in the ass.
And so this album, as I said, I've gone on and on about the riffs, but there really is no let up on this album. Was that deliberate? Did you guys just say, all right, foot on the gas with this album? We're just gonna steamroll people with this.
You know,
Live
I
thing.
talked, yeah, we talked about somebody to someone before. It's about, because we've been gigging so much, our live vibe has translated into our studio vibe.
Yeah.
And Spread's always been a high energy rock band, like most bands are. You're out there putting it out, you know, but to have that translate, now it's starting to really make sense. Like, oh, you know, we've been playing, we've been getting our muscles going here, you know, let's go work out. So that's what it's a translation of energy.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's touring like nowadays? Because you guys have been doing it for so long, Rob. You know, do you like the whole aspect of touring? I know a lot of people love traveling, but they don't always like the tedious stuff that comes with being on the road. What's your relationship like with touring?
Oh, 5-star hotel rooms, room service.
Yeah.
Personal assistants, you name it. It's pretty
easy.
cushy. It's pretty cushy.
Yeah. Yeah. That nice, huh?
It's
Hey,
not for the week, man. This stuff is not for the week. I tell you, this isn't for the week. If anybody wants to tour, it ain't for the week. If you're gonna be that guy that's gonna bitch and moan about the little things, you got to get out of the vehicle.
You're in the wrong profession. Yeah, it's not going to happen for you. Yeah, and so here, just overall, I know I talked a little bit about how the European audiences are receiving the album, but what's been the feedback like here in the States and or from your label?
So far, it's been all positive.
Yeah,
it really has. You know, I think we've had the experience, especially this past 2 years, of growing the audience in the U.S. So we see a lot more younger folks catching on to things. But the folks that know Spread and know all the albums from past have really embraced it. I think maybe everybody felt we needed a shot of juice. Yeah, you know. So this is it's refreshing. A little energy is good.
Yeah. Now, as I said, the band started in 1989. Rob, you know, can you remember way back then, man? You know what the vision was. You know, were you thinking longevity at that time? Were you thinking you just make a kick-ass album or two? You know, was there a game plan at that point in time?
Well, we wanted to be. I mean, this is before we met Ray, and when we met Ray, we wanted to be the biggest band in the world. Absolutely. Yeah. So. We had a relentless work ethic, and we just wanted to create a sound that we weren't hearing coming out of Los Angeles so much. To be fair, there were some aggressive hard rock bands like LA Guns and Guns N' Roses were aggressive, like maybe 3/4 of the time, but we wanted to be more aggressive. So we combined rock with a little bit of punk, a little bit of thrash, a little bit of East Coast, New York City dirty rock. You know, I think I said punk, and we wanted to be more aggressive than anyone else. And with Ray's voice, which was incredibly aggressive, we were able to get there.
Yeah, I did notice that you associated dirty rock with New York. And as a New Yorker, I'm not saying I take offense by any means. I like it. I like that we're known as dirty. Maybe that's good. Dirty old New York.
You know, you got the sweepers coming down the street every night, you know, to clean up the mess. You know, it's got edge to it. It's like, you know, it's got rough edges, this town. Yeah. You know, the only shiny ones are way up in the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you able to look back? Is there anything about the career thus far, and maybe you don't even ascribe to this philosophy? Is there anything that maybe you look back on as a regret, something you would have done maybe differently? Ray's already laughing.
You know, for me, you know, it's the mistake of just diving into drugs a little too deeply. Yeah. You know, several times, being at the door end of a rehab center more times than I needed to do. You know what I mean? So that's a regret. Just, you know, it was a good time when it was good.
And I respect the honesty. There's a lot of guys who won't own that too, you know.
I'm as unfiltered as you're gonna get, man.
You gotta be. So you gotta be.
That's really about it.
I think we talked about that the last time. I think we talked about Mark Lanigan's book and how brutally honest he was in that book, and it was crazy how it was. A lot of it was just so self-effacing. It's just like, wow, writing this stuff about yourself is nuts.
Yeah, I think the biggest regret would have been not to finish the Spread Eagle story. I think our story still has to go. We're unfinished business. You know, the little engine that could is now back on the tracks. You know, it's a sound that needs to be heard, and it's a feeling that needs to be felt. So we believe in it. So we're out there pushing this thing. You know, so that's it. Just, you know, the drugs have been the major regret in my life.
And so, Rob, when Ray says, trying to finish off and see all the way through the spread eagle vision and the mission, man, like, what do you see as that vision? What is that mission? What comes next after Brutal Divine?
Well, we're doing the right things. We've been doing the right things for quite a while. So I don't see much change from us. Just touring relentlessly, getting into new markets, making music when we can around the touring. But we're hoping that more people like you who notice that we're unique and special hear about us. We're hoping that the gatekeepers let us through, and they hear about us and let us through, and and to be honest, that it gets bigger.
Yeah. Now, obviously the music industry is a tough waters. I don't have to tell you guys to navigate, especially where we are in 2026. If a young musician, this could happen even on the road, a young musician comes up to you and asks for the best piece of advice you can give them, what would you tell them right now? Now, I had somebody on the other day who said that their biggest piece of advice would be to tell a young artist to maybe like learn the business side of things a little bit first,
Don't sign anything.
Yeah.
Without a really good lawyer that you trust.
Okay.
Law and trust is a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
But never sign anything out of hunger, out of just desperation. Never do that. I got caught up. We got caught up with something like that back in the day. Production agreements. People like, oh, here's the label. But before you do the label deal, you guys sign this first.
Yeah.
So it's about being smart. Just don't sign things away. Don't sign your creativity away.
Right. Right.
Rob might have something better, or just.
I would say, number one, don't use backing tracks live.
Okay. Fair.
And number two, don't write with AI.
Okay. I love both of those. Yeah, it is becoming that kind of a world. Now, I like the first thing you said about the backing tracks. Because there have been bands in the last couple of years, and I won't take a stab at any of them, but they know who they are. Some of them are even legendary in the industry. You know what I mean? But they got to beef up the sound. They can't replicate what they once did. You know what I mean? Should those bands have they stayed at the party too long? You know what I mean? Like if you can't cut the mustard anymore authentically live, should it be time to step away? And this might even tie into what you guys are talking about gatekeepers.
Well, sure. I mean, look, my joke used to be, hey, I have a great idea. Let's take a boombox, walk out on stage, have a cooler of beer, and just sit and go, this is the next tune we're going to play for you. Boom.
Right. And they really won a Grammy that way.
You know what I mean? It's right.
But
it's become, if you can't physically do the job, people are there to see, people pay to come see you physically do the job.
Right.
So I think it's important. I think if you physically can't do it anymore, then it is time to go and do something else, and then maybe then go to clubs or with tracks or something. I don't know, but to do that, it's kind of a bit of a ripoff. I get it. People want to fortify their sound they want to be perfect. This is about being perfect. The rock and roll is about the imperfection. It's about the man on the flying trapeze without a net. That's what we are.
Yeah.
So it's that simple. There's the marching down the street, here I come way to do it, and then there's the lazy way to do it. Yeah. But it's some people are cool with it. Oh well, then they have argument. So there's some good arguments for it. Oh, it fortifies the sound. It fills up the room. People, it's not live. It's not organic.
Right.
When something is processed, when food's processed, it's bad for you.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
So certified organic is great as long as it's clean and washed and doesn't stink up the room.
Right. Rob, would you agree with that with that assessment? And is there any level of cheating or tweaking or doing anything that is acceptable? I know some guys use I'm not an industry guy, so I don't know all the terms, but I've often heard backtracks, these different smoke and mirrors, like backing vocals, stuff piped in to beef up the sound. Is any of it okay, or if you can't do it authentically, none of it should be permitted?
Well, it's not what we do. It's a world that we've never even dipped our toes into it, and we never will. I think it's up to the fans to decide, and they are deciding right now that they will pay that money to see Motley Crue or Kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
So to touch on that argument, as people get older, you know, some things get difficult, and it's the fans and that band's choice. Again, it's not a spread eagle thing, but what concerns me is these 21-year-old bands that have they're playing to their full albums on stage.
Yep.
And they just feel like they can't, there's no time to develop because the industry doesn't allow that, or they're afraid to fail, so they have to be perfect. But these young bands are running tracks more than the old bands.
Right.
It's the standard. And I don't get that. They'll never, it slows your growth because we figure out how to do it. Ray mentioned the set list. He mentioned, we know what works off the first 3 albums, and the 4th album, the new one, The Brutal Divine, we're figuring out what will work live.
Right.
Well, the reason why that is because we have to rearrange everything for a live show, because we're not just bumping in the tracks.
Right.
So things sound different. All of a sudden, there isn't a rhythm guitar. We have to see how we can make up for that, or does the song still carry? There's a lot of decisions. Ray's the set list guy, and there's a lot of decisions he has to make once we start playing these songs. So, you know, these kids using backing tracks, they'll never learn that that's an art. Arranging an album for the stage is an art. It's actually fun. It's actually cool. It's one of the things that rock and roll is. So they'll never learn that. They'll never become better singers because they're not really relying on their vocals. They're relying on that track you're hearing.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that. The arrangement is huge. I mean, you're taking people through a journey. You got to know like when to hit them over the head, when to pull back for a song or two, then when to ramp it back up again. You're right. That's a huge part of the show, and just an album in general.
Yeah, there's an art to translating a song.
Yeah,
a studio track. There's an art to it, and some people don't want to rely. They don't want to work the art. They just let's go put the stems over there, and we're gonna be fine. What's happening is that a young audience is being fed this, and they think that's the norm.
Right.
You know, so some don't know better, but the ones that do, that take the time to do a little research and go back and do a little history and know that the live organic rock and roll show is a special thing. So those kids, we find those kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully people will wake up, and for some people that's the way it is, and that's fine. They don't care about it. But the ones that do, the discerning people, it's like, let's go see a live rock. Let's go see Spread Eagle, because it just you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So is Ray going to sing on key or not?
Bring that authenticity, and to an extent that little bit of a dangerous element back to rock and roll, and the imperfections that you talked about. I mean, in the 70s, those live albums, rock albums, they would leave those right on the album, and they were great. They became iconic moments on those albums. I think you hit on something. Everybody does want everything too perfect right now. You know what I mean? Like everything's got to be polished and repolished until it comes out.
Boring.
That's boring. Yeah, it is
boring, man.
And this conversation mirrors with AI. It's all this, but we don't need to go into it because it's all the same things. Like
Yep.
It's about hearing things perfect, man.
And so I know that you have a history, outside of being a founding member and been in Spread Eagle, from the get-go. I mean, fans may or may not know history with Sebastian Bach, with UFO. Does that come into play with the fact that Push to the Limit ends up a cover song on this album?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about that song.
Yeah. And a great choice too. Not an obvious one, but a great choice though.
Well, I'll add, because I told Rob I want to cover a song, but I'm looking at the classics, Lights Out.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then he goes, check the song out, see what you think. And I was like, holy shit, this is cool, man. Then we just started doing it as a cover, because we do redos. I can't cover much shit. It is what it is. So that's just. It's a perfect match. I dig what we did with it. Yeah.
And so obviously, the way music is being released, all the old time frames and time limits that used to exist, where you used to see your favorite band back in the day put on an album and then tour, and it might be out for 3 or 4 years and the next one comes out. Do you guys have a definitive timeline? Like, this album comes out, when do you start thinking about, the follow-up to Brutal Divine? Maybe you've already started writing. I don't know. How soon do you think about something like that?
Well, I think the creativity never stops.
Yeah.
I think you always want to keep thinking about doing new stuff, because you did that already, or that's done.
Right.
But we have to now play the shit out of that album for a year or so,
Yeah.
you know, and hopefully, but when the time comes around and we're ready, you know, then we'll go to track, you know. But right now, it's really about just making the live show happen and making this album work live with as well as the other ones work. So that's a great thing. I do think ahead. It's a problem. It's a problem for me. It's ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, I think way ahead. So Robbie's always writing. You know, everybody in this band is always doing some sort of creative expression, you know, to bring to the table. So I don't know. We can't put a timestamp on it. You know, maybe Frontiers might have something to say about that too. Maybe they might say, "Hey, can you guys do this?"
Yeah.
We'll see
now, a
what
lot
happens.
of artists, Rob, are not fortunate. You know, a lot of artists are out there, you know, having to do the do-it-yourself route or put out stuff independently. They don't have the benefit of a label. You know what I mean? Well, you know, what's been the biggest benefit to being on Frontier? I know the labels don't quite work and don't quite do everything they used to do back in the day, but they still seem to be, you know, it still seems to be the place to be, you know, if you can land on a label.
I'd say they have a very strong YouTube presence.
Yeah.
That would be the strongest. I would feel that that's the strongest thing they bring to it, which is substantial.
Yeah. Do you feel like you guys as a band have leaned into social media and embraced it as the promotional tool that it is? Is it something you could do better at, or do you feel like you're trying to do it?
We have
Always learning. Always learning. I dig doing the promo videos and just making contact. I'm a person that, you know, I like the whole thing of it. We're always learning. We're trying to get better at it.
Yep.
Even just talking into a camera and trying to be comfortable. You know, a lot of people are not self-aware, or they'll just think they look cool and or they don't think about that, man. It's just about being natural and being comfortable and being able to talk about yourself and what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, but we embrace it. We're trying to do as much connecting with people as possible.
Well, music videos, Rob. I was recently talking about somebody about this too. It's still a very useful promotional tool, even though the days of MTV and VH1 showing videos a lot is kind of gone now. We're watching them on smaller screens, but bands still are making music videos, and people are still seeing them. And it does seem like it can drive them, you know, towards the music, towards the songs or whatever. Do you guys enjoy the video making process?
Oh, very much.
I like watching Ray make them. I get a kick out of it.
No, but Robbie's become a great actor. If you watch the beginning of the Vultures video, he's great. So we love it. I love the process. I love just the whole, you know, it's a grind. It's a long day though. It's the only drag of doing these things, you know, especially when it's on a small budget. But it gives you, you know, it's a different way of expressing yourself. I think visually people still need that for stimulation. So have fun with it.
I think videos are still in my vision, I could be wrong, is still the driving force of a band is music videos. Yeah.
It's like Foo Fighters. I love their videos because they don't take themselves seriously in the videos. They're just having fun.
Right.
So we're kind of this, you know, I like that approach.
Now, if somebody were to ask you who may not be familiar with Spread Eagle, you know what I mean? Because I know the rock world is always big on the genres and the subgenres. And I don't know that you guys necessarily fit into a neat little box or a specific category. But what would you tell people, you know, if you could look in the camera and say, hey, you guys would dig Spread Eagle because we are all about offering you this? Obviously, I've talked up the riffs a ton. So, I mean, if you're into riffs, you're for sure going to fucking get that.
I always use the term rhythm and groove. People use this new term for pure street metal.
Yes.
But I always tell Ray, we are a rhythm and groove band.
Yeah.
You know, we're all about the pockets, you know, and so we're a hard groove band, man. That's where we live.
Yeah. Rob?
You know, it's different things at different times. I like to think we're like driving hard rock, but we have moods that are not like that. So, we're just dynamic and real and honest and 100% live.
Yeah. And I think as much as I did say early on that somebody had made a comment about the first couple albums being sleaze rock classics, I just certainly don't want to pigeonhole you guys into being a sleaze rock band, because you are one of those bands that you could certainly hear the punk influences. They shine through extremely vividly. I mean, you can hear it in the music.
I think punk is a part of sleaze.
Yeah. It's very evident. It's very evident. Where does the punk influence come from?
Oh, that's just all about attitude, you know?
Yeah.
That's just attitude and energy and just a lot of FU-ness, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, punk is a way of shooting the bird at everything.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a statement. It's just a way of being. It's an attitude. So we have energy. Let it out, man. Don't just try to restrain it. We are unrestrained sometimes, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, punk doesn't necessarily have to be something you can put your finger on musically. It's an attitude. It's also musical, of course, but it's an attitude. It's a stance.
And normally it's just two chords played very well.
Yeah, right.
We try to do a little more than that.
And over again.
You know what I mean?
And
great.
And for people that might not have seen you live, you know, I know as you said you're going to be embarking on a tour over in Europe. But for people that haven't caught you live, what would you say to expect, Rob, from the live experience when they come to a Spread Eagle show?
Like Ray said, anything can happen because we are 100% live. We don't use backing tracks, so we might call out a song that's unexpected. We might play a song faster or a little slower, or we might go jam a little bit, go into a place we haven't been. Anything can happen. And honesty, 100% honesty.
Yeah, I love that. And so the tour starts, and then what can fans expect after this run of European dates?
USA dates.
Okay.
Yeah, just USA, and it's always building. We're always building it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
You can see all our dates at spreadeagle.us.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question, man. If people want to tap in to find out what you guys are doing, I'm sure obviously you just named the website, and you guys are on other parts of social media as well. They can find you on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Absolutely. If you type in Spread Eagle Band or Spread Eagle NYC, you can find us on any platform.
And by the way, why not just follow the fellas just based on the fact that they've called their band Spread Eagle? I mean, come on, that's fucking cool. Right there. I mean,
the
come
band
on.
with the outrageous name. The quick story. We had a song on the first song called "Back on the Bitch."
Yeah.
So, of all things to release as a metal single, MCA and all their great wisdom wanted to release that song as a single.
Right.
So there's this great station out in California called KNAC back in the day. And they were the metal station, and they would do live shows. You know, I think we did a show in Texas. They put it out, whatever. The program director at the time would not play it because they felt the band was sexist.
Yeah,
and the name was outrageous, and it was sexist, and these must be just ridiculously assholes of human beings.
Right.
I made a big stink about it, and there was a thing called Concrete Metal Foundations Forum, and I kept asking the label to fly us out there so that we can meet this person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got flown out. I got in a room with her. We had a great conversation, and she realized after meeting us that we were truly sexist, egotistical bigots.
Right.
No, we wined and dined, and she was like, "You guys are just nice guys, man. Play this band." So they finally played the single. But it was like things like that with the name. We were all sitting around looking for band names because everything was fast. We got together fast. We got signed fast, recording fast. I think it was Scott Calvert, one of our two managers, that came up with the word. And for some reason, we all just went like, "Yo, that's crazy."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's the band with the outrageous name. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's an outrageous name. It's a loud band. It's honest. It is what it is. It's a wide open subject. It is what it is, man.
The point of that, and the moral of the story, we've been taught it since day one, since we came out of the womb. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? Nice guys with the outrageous name. I mean, don't judge them based solely on the Spread Eagle name. Yeah.
Now it's tame compared to bands now. That name is tame. But at the time,
I know.
I think there was a country band called Spread Eagle. There's a pub in a couple of pubs in England called the Spread Eagle Pub, which we found one of them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, a name is a name, right?
And are you guys exclusively now the only musical Spread Eagle? You just made mention of a country band. Are they still in existence?
I don't think there are anymore.
We have the copyright. So
okay.
They better not be.
Okay. They better not be.
Because, it's the thing where someone sends you, "Hey, Ray, you got to see this." I'm like, "What the hell is that, man?" So, cease and desist.
If you're watching this, if you're watching this episode right now, that was your verbal cease and desist from the boys. If you're trying to call your band Spread Eagle, so you just received it, and verbally. If the boys need to say something in writing, they will. They're prepared to go down with this name.
I mean, the name is outrageous, and so is the sound, right?
It is. And congrats, guys, man. This album is really great, man. You guys know I'm a big fan, man. So anytime you guys have anything going on, anything to promote, man, you're always welcome on here, man. And safe travels on the tour, man.
Thank you so
You're
much.
fucking aces, mate. You really are, man.
You guys, man. You guys are aces, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Have fun out there, boys.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Later,
brother.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you, man. And there they go, folks. The boys in Spread Eagle. That is Rob De Luca, bass player, songwriter, producer, and that is my boy Ray West, the lead vocalist. That was almost a tongue twister to me. Ray West, the vocalist, who I've had on multiple times before. My first time having Rob on, but a pleasure to have them both on. That was kind of an unexpected surprise, I guess, when I was facilitating the interview and talking with Rob. I had no idea. I thought it was just going to be a one-on-one, given the fact that I've had Ray on in the past. But a nice surprise. The last minute, he kind of said, hey, Ray's going to jump on too. Great, man. The more the merrier. Love those guys. They really, truly are a great band. If you like a sleazy, bluesy, straight ahead, in your face rock and roll band with a nice injection of punk rock in there, man, and not the kind of punk rock that's going to turn you off, the kind that's going to get you shaking your ass and dancing. I mean, these guys have really cultivated and honed a very specific sound that I think is very unique to just them. What they do and the elements that they're able to take and fuse together and still make great, straight ahead, in your face rock and roll that really is just fun and moves you and has a great message. This is a band you should check out. I can't talk up the boys enough. It's Spread Eagle. Great band. Their latest album, The Brutal Divine, dropped back in June, so it's only been out a couple months, and it is fucking packed with riffs. It just bangs you over the head from start to finish. 10 songs, 40 minutes. Throw it on, and you will not be disappointed. This is an album that will get you moving for sure. That I can guarantee you. That's an ironclad guarantee from your boy Reckless Rexx. Take it to the bank. So go check out The Brutal Divine and check out their past albums. You can go on and find them on the streaming platforms. First two albums are absolutely fucking amazing. The self-titled debut, incredible. So just sleazy, dirty, straight ahead, groovy rock and roll. So now I'll give you guys the 411 on how to get tapped in with us before I sign off. Get with us again on Facebook. Our handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. On Instagram, we are also at Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Super active and receptive on both of those sites. So reach out to us. We appreciate feedback, or just drop us a line and say hello. We will respond. But if you want to watch and listen to these episodes in their entirety, you can only do that right here on our YouTube channel. So if you are here, please like, please subscribe, and most importantly, please smash that notification bell so you will be alerted when new content drops. Before I sign off, let me thank my viewers and my subscribers. I love you guys to death. It is awesome, the growth of this channel, and it's because of you guys. And of course, I got to thank my guests. Could not do this without them. Just so generous with their time. The amazing conversations I've had the opportunity to have on here with artists that I deeply admire and respect. It's been absolutely incredible. So big salute to my guests, and specifically today's guests, Rob De Luca and Ray West from Spread Eagle. Love those guys, man. Friends of the show at this point. And always enjoy chopping it up with the fellas. Go check them out on social media. Europe, they are coming your way for some live shows. So if you're watching this and you're over in the European market, get on their website and check out the dates. They might be coming to a town near you. And if they are, get your ass out and see them. Do yourself a favor. And of course, you can keep on cranking The Brutal Divine. I'm sure the boys would appreciate that. That is their latest album. And go back and peruse, as I said, those past albums and crank those as well. And until we do this thing again, this is your boy Reckless Rexx reminding you all to take it easy and keep it sleazy.